I want to ask you about asset-based lending and
Mhm.
hard money loans. So I know those are two different things. I had never heard of asset-based lending
Mhm.
until Fernando told us about
Mhm.
it. But hard money loans I heard about, but a lot of people are not really familiar with hard money loans. They think the
Mhm.
only way to get money to buy real estate is just to go to Chase Bank and
Yeah.
but hard money is completely different. So can y'all talk about like hard money? Like what is that? And yeah, how does that
Mhm.
work out?
Well, before you do that, I want to say like the one thing I would tell everybody that's watching is to ask questions.
Mhm.
Don't be ashamed to ask
Yep.
questions. I asked Caesar all types of questions. Today, my attorney sent me something about a car accident. And I sent it to Caesar. I was like, Caesar, what's this? What is the attorney sending me? And Caesar hit me back, was like, Envy, that's not for you. It's the wrong name. I bet you
Mhm.
sent it by the wrong person. But I hit
Um,
Caesar about everything. So when I was purchasing my house, I purchased a house in New Jersey, and the house is the person that bought it for me paid 12.88 million for it, right? I bought it for 5.5. And one thing about Caesar is he always says, "Yo, you never want to put that much money down. I don't care what you're doing. You want to put as little as possible because you use that money for other things." But during COVID, if you're trying to buy a house that's jumbo loan is what they call it, over $1 million, they want you to put 25 to 30% down. And Caesar was like, "You're not putting that down, right?" Now, me and Caesar argue like we're a married couple, like because he's my brother, like for real, like bruv, like argue, hang up on each other. And he was like, "No, you have enough assets where you ain't got to put that much down. You use your assets." And he was able to get me a loan, and we were able to figure out where I only had to put 10% down. Now you think about it, $5.5 million property, only having to put $550,000, but I'm using my assets as collateral to get that loan.
Mhm.
That's unheard of.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? But we're able to do it because I have those assets and I have those properties. So those are some of the things that you have to ask, because I would have never known. I was going to put 25, 30% down. And what I did, I used that other 10% and bought another property and bought some more properties and bought some stock at the time and used that money to make money. I also bought a car, but I used that money to
By the
make
way.
money. You can take it down.
yeah. Yeah. So a good tool to use is private financing, right? A lot of times when I first started, for example, I had horrible. My credit was shot, right? I had a 520 credit score. Um, but I was able to get some capital together, and I got a hard money loan. A hard money loan is not really based on you as an individual. It's pretty much based on the asset, on the property.
On the deal.
So if a property has equity, they'll do that deal. Meaning, if you're looking at a property and it's worth 300,000 and you want to buy for 300,000, a hard money lender's not going to do that deal. But if the property is worth 210 and you get in for 300,000, then a hard money lender would do that deal. A hard money lender is not based on conventional guidelines. It's private money. It's more of a relationship based business. So it works a little different than you going to Chase or any other bank and trying to get a loan. I like hard money because I could close quickly. It's the same thing as cash. Right now, hard money, when I first started, it was different, right? Which sometimes it pisses me off because back then I had to put 20, 25% down, right?
Mm.
Across the board on a hard money loan. Then when I finally built a relationship with my lender and I paid them off on millions and millions of dollars in loans, they're like, you know what? You only got to put 10% down. I was like, yes, right? And then every single lender started giving out the same program, 10% down. I was like, you bastards, you didn't even work for it.
That's how you change
Right?
the game.
Yeah. So that it was pretty crazy back then. But now, pretty much, you could get 10% down across the board. When it's usually you get 90% loan to value off the purchase, right? And 100% of the rehab or the construction dollars is based on draws, right? Meaning, you always have to have a couple dollars in your pocket, right? So just to break it down, very simple. You want to buy a property, it's $200,000, right?
Mhm.
You're gonna put 10% down, plus usually a hard money lender charges 2 points, right? So right there, let's say you're all in 25K, your down payment and your points and whatever your attorney's gonna charge you. So that's 25,000. So let's say this particular property needs rehab, right? Let's say $50,000. So you're gonna tell your hard money lender that instead of $50,000, the rehab is 75,000, which I'll explain why later. Now, when you go to get a hard money loan, you need to do a rehab schedule. These are numbers that you're gonna do and sit down and do them with your contractor, right? These numbers, right? Like I said before, is not based. A hard money loan is not based on conventional guidelines. So if you ask for more money or less money, they're not gonna look at you like you're crazy, right? The more you ask for, the more the private lender is gonna make because they're making money off of the interest. Usually, interest right now could be anywhere between 8 to 12%, right? So let's say, boom, we do a first draw. Let's say you did your demo. framing, rough electric, rough plumbing. You call up your lender, they come, they look at the property, did the work, they give you the money back. So you do need to have a couple dollars in your pocket. It's still 100% financing, but you have to have some money, right? And then they just keep on replenishing your money over and over, right? So let's say we get down to the last draw, right? Remember, we bought the property for 2, our rehab was 50, we told the lender there was 75, right? So now the last draw, what we just did by overestimating the construction cost, you got back your $25,000 down payment before you sold the house or refinance, just by overestimating the construction cost.
So if
Yeah.
I'm excited about this and I'm like, okay, great, I want to get some in Camden or West Orange.
Mhm.
What for like 4 or 5 steps would you have people at home watching? Because I don't want them to have the information and not walk away with some actionable if they're afraid.
So do it off a $200,000 house. House is worth 300,000. You buying it for 200,000. Needs $40,000 worth of work.
Yeah, it's the same thing, it's same thing, like 200,000, you got to put 10% down. As far as you mean where you get deals from?
Yes.
Okay, so I get a lot of deals from auction.com. I get a lot of deals from Hubzu. I get a lot of deals from Zone. As far as properties that I flip, those are the sites that I go to. Another thing that you could do too, right? When it comes to, I'm gonna show you what Lord of the Slums does, right? He does it a little bit differently. When he goes and he does his numbers when it comes to the construction. So let's say if it's a flip, right? And your profit is 65,000, right? So you take that 65,000 and you add it to your construction costs, right? All right. So meaning when you get your last draw, you're getting the profit before you sell the house, right? So at that point, when you sell the house, it's kind of a wash. So you don't pay capital gains.
That's
Which
a
you
whole-
should always pay
yeah,
taxes.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
giving you.
yeah.
You should always pay your
Nah,
taxes.
that's
so-
that's a whole lot of game, man. Don't let that go over your head.
Yeah.